All right. Good evening and welcome to today's class. So today's class will be a continuation of the topic we started last time, breakdown maintenance. We tried to do a lot in that class, but it was rather we're rather moving on a very fast pace because I needed to cover my plan for the day. Today we have all the time, and so I'll try to take it a little bit slowly today so we can catch up. Okay, so breakdown maintenance process is what we are talking about today. So in our last class, we're able to look at this first step, notification creation, and also work order creation. So, um, and we said that this notification creation is the first step in the breakdown maintenance process. Once there's a problem on an equipment, someone who has the right authorization will raise a notification, and the notification will later be converted to a work order. So these are the steps explained. And we also mentioned that there are two scenarios of managing breakdown maintenance. Scenario a notification is created and then later it is converted to a work order. Scenario two, the two documents are created at the same time. So it's possible to create both the notification and the work order at the same time. So we have already done scenario A in our last class. So we're going to start with scenario B, where we'll create a notification and a work order at the same time. I will go straight into the system. The difference here is not much. The difference is not much. You still have to go through the logistics folder. Then you go to the plant maintenance folder. Then you now go to maintenance processing. Then you see notification. So everything that has to do with creating a notification, you will see here. I explained what this is in our last class, where you create all manner of notifications using this type of create general. Why create special? You can create specifically malfunction, activity reports, and maintenance requests. You can also do change. If you need to edit a notification, you can display, you can do a report, list display of notification, or list change and list display, and then multi-level display. So we talked about all these transaction codes. So today we're going to do scenario B, which is creating notification and a work order at the same time. So this mostly is used when you don't have time to create these documents individually, because there's some breakdown requirements or breakdown scenarios that you don't need too much process. You don't need too much documentation. So you just want to create these two documents at the same time in one step. Okay, so for you to achieve that, you use this transaction IW21, because this is the only way you're able to find the notification types that will combine notification and work order at the same time. So please, I need us all to, if possible, do the same thing. Amori, Omoridion, can you do the same thing? Just go there. I know Nosa is in the office. I don't know how much flexibility you have there, but if you have, you can follow us and do the same thing. So either you double click on this or you launch the transaction here, IW21. Then this opens create PM notification initial screen. Then you go to this notification type and select this notification type. Second, I will show you. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Just let me let someone in. Okay, just give me 1 second. Looks like I'm mixing it up. All right, okay, so there's a little mix up here. So in this scenario, instead of creating a notification, you can only achieve that through the work order by you create the work order, then you now select the work order type that combines a notification and a work order. And this is it, PMO5. So in this case, you use the work order creation transaction instead of the notification transaction. Instead of IW21, you use IW31 for work order creation. So you in the order type, you can now select this work order type PMO5. So this work order type combines work order inclusive of notification. So if you select it, it means you are going to create both a work order and a notification at the same time. And this is scenario B. So the next thing you're going to select is priority. Priority simply defines the criticality of the task. So we have different levels of priority here. High, very high, medium, and low.
Mr. Paul, sorry,
Yeah,
are you sharing your screen? Because I can see your screen.
you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, let me stop and share again. Okay, can you see now?
Yes, I can see.
Okay, so for you to be able to create these two documents at the same time, notification and work order at the same time, you will use the work order creation transaction, like I said, and you will select this this work order type, PMO5, order, including notification. And you select your priority here. If the criticality is very high, you select very high. If it is just high, medium, low. So let's select very high. You can assign your technical objects or functional location or your equipment here by searching it. So let me assign equipment. So once you click on search, I don't know how many people are following me on this. Are you doing it on your side? I want to be sure we're on the same page. Are you doing on your side, or I'm the only one doing? If I'm the only one doing, so I can move a little faster without, because I know some people want to rely on the video after the training. They just want to catch what I'm doing and rely on the video. Even though the best method is everybody will be doing the same thing, the practicals in the class. But if no one is following me, then I should move a bit faster rather than wait for anyone. So here you have options to search for your equipment. However, if you click back once, you will see this small tab will come up, and you have more alternative selection screens that are available here. For example, if I select equipment by short text, I'm going to have this displayed, and I can enter the short text of my equipment here. So basically, those options that are available, you can find them here. So this is the current active one that is having a dot. You can also find them here. If you continue to move to the right, you will see all of them displayed here. So you can activate any of them by just clicking on the tab. Okay. Then if you click back, it will still bring you this. So if you click on any one of them, it can still open in this format. So whichever format you prefer to use is fine, so that you don't get confused. So you don't get confused that I'm here. Why is my own different? It's not different. You can decide to set any of these options directly on the tabs here, or you can click here to choose any one. For example, if I click this one, it will change to this format. Whichever format, the options are available for you to search with, you can use it. For example, I want to use equipment description. So if I type crane, and I put an asterisk and I search, I will see crane will be displayed. So you see cranes, and these are the equipment numbers for the cranes. Crane 1, crane 2. The first crane is in this functional location. Oba/Obage/CRS/HD 40CN 10008. While the second crane is in the functional location of Mac/GBK. So this functional location looks more like a functional location in our plant. So it means this is the crane we are looking for. So if you double click, the crane will enter. Then if you press enter, then system will open the next screen. So system has opened the next screen, and you will see that crane is here in equipment. And because this crane is installed under this functional location, it's going to drag the functional location into the functional location field. And every other information that is assigned to this crane in the master data, like the work center, will also be called into this screen. Then you see your priority. You see your priority here. The planner group. All these things are already assigned to the master data. If you want to go to the master data of the crane, if you double click on this number, it will take you to the equipment master data. Likewise, the functional location. So if you go to organization, you will see some information. This is the plant. So if you also double click on the functional location and you move through these tabs, you will see some information. You see the plant, the planner group, the main work center. So this is where all these things are copied from. So also here, while you are here, you need to enter the description of the problem. For example, crane how do I call it? Badly damaged. So that's, you are simply reporting that the title of this work order is your crane is badly damaged, needs to be repaired. So you notice a work order number is being created here under the work order type PM05. The status of this work order is created. It's just been created. And then you'll notice that we have the notification also is created at the same time. So that is the function of, or that's the behavior of this work order type. It will create a work order and notification at the same time. Okay, so because the crane has broken down, you tick the breakdown indicator as well to show that this crane is not functioning again. If you have more information like person responsible, which means who is responsible for this kind of task, you can find list of people in the system that are responsible for task, and you select the person responsible. So I will select this owner and so on, owner Kobach. That's the person responsible for this task. So if there are more information you want to provide, you can provide them. Yes, if you save this work order, it's going to save the work order and the notification at the same time. So this is faster. It eliminates, so you see order 819820 saved with notification 1002147. So the two documents are created at the same time. Like, unlike the first scenario where the notification is first of all created, then you go back into the notification and then you convert it to a work order. At the end of the day, two of them will be tied together. Here, one work order type will create the work order and the notification at the same time. So if I want to change this work order again, I will use transaction IW32 for change work order, and system will remember the last work order that was created. So if I press enter, this is the work order we just created, and this is the notification assigned to it. I can go into the notification, and of course the notification will also have similar technical objects, similar work center, similar description, similar information. I can go back into the work order here while I'm in notification by clicking on this change. So I can toggle between my work order and notification because the two of them are joined together. So in one step, you have created notification and work order. So now what it means is we have two work orders and two notifications created in the system. The previous one we created individually, and this one we created today. All of them will go into the list, in the list of notifications and work orders in the system. So somebody will want to ask, if I want to return these notifications or these work orders I've created in a list format. That's if system does not remember it, how do I find my work order and notification? You simply use the list transaction for either work order or notification. I gave you that on a notepad. I say for notification, you have the list change, which is IW28, list display, IW29, list multi-level IW30. So if you use IW28, of which you can also find it here, you can find it here under notification, list editing, IW28, 29, and IW30. So if you either double click or you enter it here, it's going to give you this transaction, change notifications, selection of notifications. So here, you can alter these parameters to suit what you want, and system will return the list of notifications that conform to the parameters you have provided here. For example, the first sub-screen is called notification statuses. This simply tells you about the phases in which these notifications are. And all these notifications we have created in this class so far, all these notifications we have created in this class so far are in outstanding phase. So it means that you don't need to worry ticking in process. Okay. Outstanding means it has just been created. But if your notification is already converted to a work order, then it is no longer in outstanding phase. It has moved to what? In process. So all these notifications we have created, I believe all of them have a work order, because the other one we created a notification, we converted it to a work order. Today we created a notification and a work order at the same time. So all the notifications are in process, and you can confirm that if I open this work order. Okay, let me open this notification we just created now. You can see the status. NOPR means notification in process. So I told you that you can, if you click on this blue eye, it will tell you what this status means. Notification in process. ORAS means order assigned. It means a work order has been assigned to the notification. So the current status of this notification is NOPR ORAS, meaning notification in process and work order assigned. And you can see the work order here. Okay, so if I launch my IW28 and I select outstanding, I select outstanding, it means I won't find any notification created for my plant. And for me to narrow down this search to my plant, remember we're talking about plant Makodi, Mac. So if I enter Mac and star under functional location, then I'm narrowing down this search to only my plant, Mac. Because all the functional locations in Makodi begins with Mac. So if I type Mac star, it means I'm narrowing down this search to only my plants. Or I can also narrow down this by date or by the person who created it. Created by, I can say, okay, these notifications were created by Paul. So system will exclude any other notifications created in the system. Will only return notifications that I created. I can even narrow down my search by date created on. I say, okay, I want only notifications created today. Or I can even give a range created between yesterday and today. So like this system will give me only notifications created within this period. So I have other parameters I can use. I can even use main work center. We're using test 0001. So any notification that was created for this work center, only those notifications will be returned. Planning plant. If I enter a particular planning plant, system will return only notifications that are created for that planning plant. Then planner group. If I enter a particular planner group, it's the same thing. So all these parameters are available for you to use to search any notification you are looking for in the system. So as it is now, if I select outstanding and I enter mark star, system will not return anything. You see, no objects were selected. Who can tell us why? Who can tell us why system was not able to see any object for this selection parameter?
Okay, I think it's because all the notifications we've created so far are already in process,
Exactly.
so they are not outstanding.
So because you can see the outstanding button is checked. So system has checked all notifications in that have functional location beginning with mark. If system found anyone outstanding, system would have returned it, but system didn't find because all of them, the two notifications we have created are all in process. But if I uncheck this and I tick in process and I execute, so while executing, let me do something else. And let me execute like this. Again, system did not find anything. Who can tell us why? Another person. Now we have moved it to in process. Our plant, our functional location is mark star. Our created by is Paul. Created on 13th September 2024. So which of these parameters is wrong that is making this result not to be found? Anybody who can assist us? Because the system is garbage in, garbage out. What you give the system is what the system will give you. If you put some parameters that are wrong, system will return a wrong result. So anybody who knows what is wrong with these parameters should tell us. Joshua, you know?
Yes, I think my mind is pointing me to something, but since you said someone else, is why I kept mute. I am looking at the dates they created on. Created on is 13th, which
And
was
that's correct.
yesterday.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's correct. So system has checked and system did not find any notification created on the 13th with these parameters. Okay? No notification was created with these parameters. However, if I change this date to today's date, I want to ask again, how many notifications do you think system will find in the system? Who can tell us? So system will find only one notification. Somebody will say why? Because we have created two notifications so far. The one we created in our previous class and the one we created in this current class. However, why am I saying only one notification? Is because the date is 14th and our last class was on a different date. So system will exclude the first notification we created. For us to be able to see that notification, we need to adjust the date to 7th down to today. So this becomes a range. And you are saying that give me all notifications that are in process created with a functional location beginning with mark and then created by all and then created within this range 17th September down there. So if I execute this, system will bring us a result with two notifications. So this was the crane broom malfunctioning we created in our last class. And today we created crane badly damaged. So once your parameters are correct, system will give you the result. One second. All right. So if you provide the parameters correctly, system will return the result correctly. So um, basically, these are the two notifications we have created, and all of them are in process. So if you look at this report, we have 1, 2, 3 columns here, but you can add more columns to this notification. If you click on this current button, or at the somewhere at the top here where we have the title, if you right click, you have options, and if you click on show, you will have those layouts. So these are the topics, sorry, the titles that are available here. Notification dates, and description. These ones are the ones that are hidden. So you can select. So if you click on work order and you move it to this side, you click on functional location, you move it to this side, you click on status. Let's say created on. Uh, let's also look at created by, then planner group, maybe priority, notification type, and then maybe status, system status. If you click at the top here, the arrow will turn to a black one pointing down. So if you click once, it will sort this in ascending or descending order. You see now it is sorted. So I can see system status under S. Then I'll move it to the left hand side. So once I'm okay with the type, the fields that I want to see, I will click adopt, and that will adopt in this report. So each line represents a notification with details. So this notification, this is the date of the notification. This is the work order assigned to this notification. This is the description. This is the functional location, the date it was created on, the person who created it, the planner group, the priority, the notification type, the type of notification, and then the status. You can see all of them, they have the same status. NOPR, ORAS. NOPR means notification in process. ORAS means order assigned, work order assigned. So where we are now, you can actually double click on each of these notifications and it will open. And this is where you uh, take advantage of the change, the list change. If it was list display, if you open it, it will not give you editable mode. But because you use IW28 instead of IW29, if you double click on the notification, it will open in a editable mode. So you can even modify this notification. Okay, so these are the two notifications we have created and the two work orders that are assigned to this notification. So in our last class too, we created a work order. We created a notification up to a work order. In this class, we created the two at the same time. So we need to know what next we have to do during breakdown maintenance. Okay, so let's go back to the steps. So first step achieved, and then second step um, achieved. So the next thing we're going to do is execution. And this execution, let's first of all plan materials in our work order. So these are our work orders. You can either open them here or you open them through IW32. So I'll open the first work order. So this is our work order. In the work order, we have these tabs. You have the header tabs, which gives you all this information you are seeing here. Operation tab. Here you are supposed to provide a list of operations that you want to carry out during this repair of the crane boom. Maybe the first operation is dismantle the boom, dismantle damaged boom. So you can see this is operation 1. So operation 2 will be replace new boom. Maybe the third operation will be isolate electrical cables. So because maybe there are some electrical connections here and there, so you need to isolate so that you can carry out this task. So here, uh, you you need to provide in each of these operation the work centers, that is the workshop or the personnel, the team or the group that is responsible for each of these operations. So here, dismantle the damage maybe is a task that will be done by the mechanical guys. So if you already have mechanical work center created, you can search it. So I will just search if I find any mechanical work center. These are all work centers. So if I find any mechanical work center, then I will select. Okay, so this is no, this is mechanic maintenance. Great. So replace new boom also will be done by mechanic. I will search. So this means that all your work centers must have been created just the same way we created this test 001. The electrical isolation will be done by electrical team. So you search again. If your electrical work center is available, you select it. So like this, you are simply assigning tasks. This is electrical. You are assigning different tasks to different teams. Okay, this is just an error due to this activity type. This activity type is in the past. So the system is warning you that it is not in the year 2024. It's something you can correct. So again, the plant should be 1000. That is the plant we are using. And this is control key. This column here is control key. So the function of a control key is it decides whether this operation will be carried out by internal work centers or external work centers. So if you search here, you will see other control keys, see PMO1, PMO2, PMO3, and you can see PMO2 is plant maintenance external. PMO3 is plant maintenance external services. PMO5 is plant maintenance internal services. So they all have their controls. But for internal operations, you must select PMO1 because this is the control key that will be suitable for tasks that are going to be carried out by the personnel of the company. Because there are certain tasks that you need to give out to a vendor to come and do. Maybe, let's say, jobs around the turbine. Maybe you don't have the right, the manpower with the right skill to work on the turbine. So like that, all the operations that will be carried out on the turbine, you will give them out to a vendor or to the OEM itself, the original equipment manufacturer, OEM, who will come and carry out this task. So in this case, the OEM is an external vendor. So you need to assign a control key for external services, PMO3. So by assigning this control key, system will trigger a purchase requisition automatically. And that purchase requisition will be used to create a service order. And that's the integration between and material management. Because the moment the purchase requisition is created, it is now the job of the procurement guys who will pick up that purchase requisition and generate a PO, a kind of PO called service order. And then they will give it out to give the PO, issue the PO to the external vendor who will come and carry out the task. Okay, so standard text, if you have already defined standard text in your system, you can also assign it a standard text. So standard text is more like this text you have entered here. But because you don't want users to enter the text as they want, so you have already created them in the same for users to just pick. System condition, you see all manner of system conditions here. If it is necessary for you to specify the condition of the system at the time you are raising this work order, you can also provide. So again, here you have the work, which is the total hours worked. You see it is measured in hours. And here stands for number of personnel that will be carrying out this operation. So for example, if dismantling of the damaged bone will be done by 2 guys, and it will take them 2 hours to do this, there's a duration. So the work done will be 2 times 2, will give you 4 here. But if you want system to automatically calculate this duration, sorry, this work done, then there's something here called control key. If you select the option of calculate work and you press enter, then automatically system will calculate the work done. Then on the second operation, replace this bomb. Maybe 4 guys will do this and it will take them 8 hours. So all of these are measured in hours. And if you set the system to calculate work done, and then system will give you the total hours duration the 4 guys will spend on this job. If here you need 1 guy to do the isolation and it take him 1 hour, and you set this on calculate work, you can also set it on calculate duration. That's if you already know the work and the number of guys, so system will calculate the duration. So that system will calculate it. So the essence of this is for statistical reasons. Okay, so you can use this to calculate how much time your personnel are spending on the job. But this is the estimated time. So eventually, in carrying out this task, you may spend more hours than planned. So the hours you will eventually enter during confirmation or completion of your job, your work order, is what is called actual hours. But in this case, this is planned hours. So they are just planned hours or estimated hours. Okay, but it's mandatory to provide them for statistical reasons. Then here, the components here, this is where you list all the spare parts that you need to carry out this operation. And that's why for each operation, for each spare part you are going to order, you are going to point it to a particular operation. So how do you order your spare parts? Remember, the equipment itself that we are reporting maintenance is the crane. So let's see, does your crane have a BOM? Remember, we discussed BOM, bill of material. If you have structured the BOM properly for this crane, if you click on this structure list, system will take you straight to the crane structure. If you click on levels above, it will show you the functional location of the crane. If you continue to click levels above, it will continue to take you upwards. All right. So if you go down now, you will see the crane equipment number itself. If you expand, you will see the construction type. Then you can see the assemblies as we created before. Then if in this case is the boom assembly that is having an issue, that is damaged. So it means that one of these materials one or more of these materials needs to be ordered because the problem is on the boom. So, but this is just taking you to the structure of the crane. However, when you want to order the materials, in an attempt to order the material, system will also take you to that same structure if you click on this list. So click where you want the material number to stay and then click on list. The moment you click on list, system will ask you which operation number are you ordering this material for. Now these are the operation numbers, operation 1, 2, and 3. So, but it is named as 10, 20, 30. So it simply means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you only have 3 operations. And the operations here that you may need a material for, you are going to specify when you click on this list. So if you click on list, you can type the operation number here manually, or you can click on operation list so that all the operations will be displayed. So you see all these operations are displayed. So any operation you are ordering this particular material you are trying to order, or you just double click on it. So I'm going to double click on replace new boom. New boom. So I'll just double click on it and it will take me to this crane construction type. So if I expand and I go to the boom assembly, and maybe the material I need to replace is the lever, I will double click on it and it will be added here. You can see the lever is added here. The required quantity by default is 2 because that's how you structured it on the boom. It means that this lever is always 2 on the boom. Okay, so system will generate a reservation in the background for the warehouse guys to prepare this material and send. However, if you need more of this material, you can change the quantity to either 4 or you can even reduce the quantity to 1. So if you need another material, you click in the right cell, then click on list. System will ask you for the operation again. You either enter the operation number here. For example, if I enter 0020 and I click on continue, then you can search again. And this time around, we want the hook. So you double click and the hook is ordered. System will generate a reservation for this operation. And by default, the quantity is 3. Also notice something. Who will remember the meaning of this item category L? Who remembers the meaning of item category L? So when we're
Hello?
discussing, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, L means that they are stock items. That is, they are already kept in the warehouse. They are
Okay,
already
that's correct.
stored in the warehouse.
So when we're creating bomb, when we're creating the
Does
bomb,
it mean that they are spare parts?
yes, yes, they are spare part because if I go back to this structure again, all these ones in red are spare parts now. That's what we discussed last time. They are all materials. They are all spare parts. Only this one in yellow is an assembly. This one is not a material. It's just a dummy number holding these spare parts, grouping it under the boom assembly. So it means that the lever, hook, sling, they are components under the boom. Then if you want to talk about hydraulic assembly, you will also see components, jack, lubricating. There are components under the hydraulic assembly. And you see where we defined these items. The item category. The first 2 are stock items, while the last one here is a non-stock item. And I explained that if you order stock items, it means that system will generate a reservation number and he will send it to the warehouse guys. So let me order this non-stock item. Sorry. Let me go back into this components and then I'll do lists. Replace new. So I will search for this. Okay, so you see now there's a problem with this because we have already defined that this material is a non-stock. So because it's a non-stock, they must be purchasing data available. So and this is purely an error during creation of this material. So when we're creating this material, we didn't create it like a non-stock. We didn't maintain the purchasing data, but it's something we can do now. So let me show you. Maybe Nosa will have an idea on this. So I will copy the material number 2075. Then I'll go and extend this material to the purchasing view. MM01. I'll enter the material number 2075. And this is a spare part. Of course, even if I don't provide that because it was already created as a spare part, if I press enter, okay, so normally it's supposed to come automatically because we already created it as a spare part. However, you can also select that. Number 207 not defined for material type. Okay, 75, sorry, I made a mistake. Yeah. Okay, that's probably why that material type 2 didn't come, because normally once you, let me try it again. So 2075, I press enter, so it's supposed to come automatically, yeah, because that was the material type that was used to create this material. So now my this particular view was not maintained. That's the cause of this error. Because this material, we are ordering it as a non-stock, meaning that it's going to be procured, it's going to be purchased, but we don't have purchasing information. So I'm trying to extend this material to the purchasing unit. So if I press enter and I enter the plant, I can now maintain some purchasing information. So this is the purchasing view. So what is missing? The purchasing group is there. Let me just enter something and save. Because the most important information are there. So material now is created. So let's try to order it again in our work order. So let's go. Okay, so now system will allow it, but there's another message. Can delivery date be met? So there's a delivery date that is popping up, and this delivery date is based on the priority we selected. So we selected very high. So system has automatically chosen end date of 19th September. So system is asking you whether the vendor that you are going to give this material can meet this delivery date. So once you say okay, then it's going to assign this non-stock. And you can see here that the item category is M. And you will see here also that the procurement category here is purchase requisition will be created for this one. Why all these ones, a reservation will be generated. Only this one will have a purchase requisition. The moment this work order is released, it will generate a purchase requisition so that this can be converted to a PO. This material, this sling will be bought by a vendor and brought back into the company before the job can be done. So that's what happens in the case of a non-stock when you're ordering a non-stock. But in the case of a stock material, this material is already stocked, so we just need a reservation to go and pick it from the warehouse. So even if this material is bought, it will not go to the warehouse because there is no storage location for it. You can't store it. So once it's bought, it will be delivered on the site directly where the job will be done. Okay, so let's see what is happening around cost. So you can see cost here. No cost is showing yet. However, these materials, they all have cost. Cost is not showing because we have not yet saved this work order. So pretty much this is what we need to do to order these three materials. So once we do that, we can now save our work order. Just click on continue and it will save the work order. Still click on yes. Those are just error messages that are throwing up because of some irregularities in this demo system. So work order now is saved with this. So if I open this notification again and I go through the work order, I will see that my materials are there. And if I want to see detailed information about these materials, now I'll go to general data. So you can see here, that's the reservation number generated. So if I click next, it will show me another reservation number for the second one. Then if I click next, the sling. So let's see the purchasing data. So there's a purchase requisition here created for the sling. So this purchase requisition is created automatically so that it can be converted to a work order. It will show you the quantity, the requirement quantity, and the committed quantity and withdrawal. So far, there's no quantity withdrawn from the warehouse. So for these materials that are stock item, you won't even see the purchasing tab. Okay. These ones that are item category L, there's no purchasing tab available. But when you get to the sling, you will see this purchasing tab is available because there is a PR generated. And this PR is for quantity 1. And the value of this PR is 2,000 euro. Okay. So I wanted to also show you things around the cost. So I'll go back into this work order, and if I go to cost now, I'm going to see cost assigned to this this work order. So you can see the only cost available here is planned cost. Estimated cost is 000. Actual cost is 000. So this estimated cost is a manual cost that is entered as an estimate. Okay, so you can enter this estimated cost just to show that this is how much you're about to spend manually. But this cost is copied automatically from the master data of the material. And then it will multiply by the quantity of the material that you ordered. Okay. Then actual cost, it is the actual consumption. Once you withdraw this material from the warehouse, or once there is a goods receipt done on the non-stock material, this actual cost will appear. So actual cost only comes up when there's a consumption of that material. And consumption in this case is when the material is issued from the warehouse. Because as far as consumption is concerned, from maintenance point of view, once the warehouse people have issued you the material, it means you have consumed it. So whether you finally use the material on the job or not, the system considers that you have consumed that quantity. So the only way you can, reverse that consumption, if for example, you did not really use that material, there's a standard process for reversal. Okay, so you return the material back to the warehouse. So all the consumed amount, the actual cost is cleared, and it shows that you didn't consume that material. The warehouse guys will now post that quantity back into the warehouse, and the quantity will increase as soon as it is posted in the warehouse. So meaning that in summary, if you withdraw 2 quantity of that material and you didn't use it, you need to return it back to the warehouse so that the warehouse guys will post back the 2, so that it will look like you didn't consume. If that is not done, whether you use it on the job or not, system will record against your cost center that you have consumed. Where is your cost center? This is your cost center. Responsible cost center, 40,000. So this is maintained by the controlling department or the finance and controlling department. So anytime that's why for any equipment master data you are creating, there is room for you to enter your cost center. So let me show you in the master data of this material. Look at your cost center. So anytime the cost center, this equipment is utilized in a work order, this cost center is automatically copied into the work order. That's why. So all your postings are going here. So the company wants to know how much money you are consuming for maintenance of this particular equipment. They will just query your cost center. So as it stands now, the total cost here is what will be posted into your cost center. However, as it is now, this is just a commitment. It is not an actual cost. So once you consume, meaning once these materials are withdrawn from the warehouse, you can see currently they are not withdrawn. Withdrawal is 0. Sorry, maybe I'm fast. While you are in the component tab, you click on general data. So for each of these materials, you can see that this is the requirement quantity. Withdrawal quantity is 0. Next, requirement quantity is 1, withdrawal is 0. Once there's a withdrawal here, it means that your actual cost will be posted. And once actual cost is posted, your cost center is impacted. It means your department, maintenance department, has consumed that cost and it is written against them. So gradually you build up a cost that can become significant in the reports of management. Okay. So also not just cost center, you can also assign this cost to a WBS element, a work breakdown structure element. Okay, especially if your maintenance is on a project site. So that element or that budget line that has that particular that budget line that should cater for maintenance of that particular equipment will be entered here, and that is where the cost will be captured on. So these are all cost collecting elements, cost center, WBS. So they are mutually exclusive. You can't use the two at the same time. If you're using a cost center, you will not use WBS. So if you're using WBS, you will not use cost center. So you decide which one to use. So at this point, we have ordered our material, we have saved our work order. So the next thing we need to do is for warehouse to be able to withdraw this material, or for you to be able to print your shop papers. Let's look at this. Yeah. Okay, so for you to be able to print your shop papers, you must release your work order. And what do we mean by shop papers? I will show you shortly. So let's go back to our work order. Looks like this work order is not the correct one. Let me just look for, because I want to be able to click on the work order itself. That order means something else. So this is the right order. So this is the right order actually. So this one means something else. So you can double click on this work order here and it goes straight into the work order. Before I would just click on the notification and then move from the notification to the work order like this. So I want to be able to move straight into the work order by double clicking on the work order number. So I'll double click on this work order, which we have prepared properly. We have ordered the materials. So now is the time to approve this work order. You see the current status of this work order is what? Created. So let's see what this status is mean. Created. Error in cost calculation. Material availability not checked. Dates are not updated pre-costed. So the most important status here is this created. okay, because it is not yet in process. It is not, the work order has not yet been approved. However, the notification is in process because the work order has been created for it. But the work order is not in process because it has not been approved. So this is where you approve your work order. If you don't have the right authorization, if you hit this green flag, system will not approve. System will not allow you to approve the work order. But if you have the right authorization, if you hit this flag, then there will be a new status that will come up here called REL, released. So let's hit the flag, continue. And you can see now that there's a new status REL. So this means that your work order has been released. Okay. So if I refresh this here, you'll see the status will change. Okay, this is notification uh, list. If it was a work order list, the status would have changed to released. So your work order is now released. So let's also release the second work order without materials, because let's assume that this crane badly damaged. We don't need any spare parts to repair it. Of course, you can also go ahead and just fix the problem without ordering the material. So let's also release this job. So you see the status is also changed to release. Okay, so now the two work orders are released. So let me go out of the notification, the list notification transaction, and run the work order list. So the work order list will give us the same thing, but this time around, the information will be more specific on work order. So let's go to work order list, change IW38. Remember, notification is 28. So I'll run this transaction. It's the same thing. So now the questions will be around the work order, no longer the notification. Is the work order in outstanding state or in process state? Who can tell us? Who can tell us? These are our work orders. Are they in outstanding state or in
Sir,
process?
please say again.
What the work order phase, is it in outstanding phase or in process? And why? Notification before we said it was in process
Is
because it was converted to a work order.
yes.
Now, go ahead.
Okay, I
Now,
think the work order is I think the work order is in process because it has been released.
exactly. So the moment the work order is released, it has moved from outstanding phase to in process. So if you search this work order using outstanding, you check outstanding, you won't find them until you move to what in process. So again, our functional location mark star. I will just enter only this and this. This should be able to give them because we don't have any other work orders created. So surprisingly, the system is giving me just one work order. I'm surprised myself. I'm expecting two work orders, but let's find out why. Let's go back to this. So let me click on outstanding as well and see. It's still giving me this. So what happens to the order? Crane boom malfunctioning. The crane boom badly damaged is not coming on. Why? Why? Hello, can you hear me? Okay, so this report should give us two um work orders, but we're having one. So let's see. Why would it give us just one? So let me try to use created on. Created on 7 till date till today. And let's see if we can have two. Still one. So 1 second. So for notification, so for notification, 1 second. So for notification, 7 till 14, we have two. So this second notification, what is happening to its work order? The functional location is marked. It is released, meaning in process. So by all standard, it should give us the token. Let's try again. Let's try work order lists. So I'll remove all these dates. Okay. Okay, so it was actually that date that was blocking it. That date was restricting it to only today's work order. So that's why we're only seeing today's work order. So now I have floated the date till the end of time, this period here. So now we have it. We have everything. So these are the two work orders, change PM orders, list of orders. So one of our work order is PMO1 type, the other one is PMO5. So a crane badly damaged and crane boom malfunctioning. Okay, so this work order is released. All these work orders are released now. So the next thing we are looking at is short papers. What are short papers? Short papers are the documents that are attached to this work order that you can print. And you can only print them when your work order is released. So if your work order does not have the status REL, you can't print short papers. And one of the short papers is the withdrawal, the material withdrawal slip. So if you come here, order function, sorry, order print order. If you click on order here, you will see all the short papers here. So by default, all these ones are already selected, meaning all of them can print. You can print all of them at the same time. But if you don't want to print all of them, you just want to print a particular short paper, for example, maybe the picking list or material issue slip, you can uncheck them, then select only that one. So short paper 2020 is the material issue slip. So you are able to print this and take this document to the warehouse to withdraw your material. So if your work order is not released by the authority, it means you can't print this, and it means you can't withdraw. The warehouse guys will not give you the material until they see this document. That is why work order approval is tied to management. Only management have authorization. If everybody has authorization to release the work order, then people can release the work orders and withdraw the materials as they want. And material is money, is cost. So management will review your work order, the task you want to do. If they are comfortable that this is a genuine task, they release it. That's when you can now print this thing. So this is how it looks like if I preview it. This is the shop paper. This is how it looks like. It gives you all the materials that you've ordered in the work order, and also some other details like the work order number, the problem. So this is what will be given to the warehouse guys. Okay, this is what will be given to the warehouse guys before they will withdraw the material. So this is a prerequisite for the warehouse team to issue these materials out. And the prerequisite for you to get this document is your work order must be approved. If your work order is not approved, you cannot print this. Okay, unfortunately, all our work orders are approved. Else would have tried to issue this, and system will complain that your work order is not approved. You can also print the job tickets. Job tickets basically contain the operations. You see the operation 10, that's those detailed operation: dismantle damaged boom, replace new boom. So this could be given to the team that is going to carry out this task. So they can even see the work, the hours allocation, the timing, and all of that. Also, the spare parts are part of this particular shop paper. Then you can print also a pick list. So pick list is also another kind of shop paper. Here it has both the operations, both the materials, and other details. Okay, so whatever shop paper you want to carry to print, you would be able to print. You can see it also has the purchase requisition, has a reservation number. Okay, so whoever needs this within the system, you can print that and give to them. I will have all these shop papers available for printing, and they can only be printed if when your work order is approved. So they say the function put in process releases the work order. So we have already released the work order using that function, the green flag, put in process. So once you release, automatically your work order is put in process. So so once that is done, you print the required order papers and then you save the work order. So you can execute the following activities after releasing the work order. So if you release your work order, you are able to withdraw the materials. If your work order is not released, the warehouse people cannot withdraw the material. If your work order is not released, you cannot book goods receipt. Goods receipt in case of this non-stock item. So if the vendor has supplied this non-stock item, somebody in the material team needs to receive it. Okay, need to do what is called goods receipt. So if the work order is not released, you are not able to do that. System will return an error that your work order is not yet open for goods receipt. So again, you can't enter time confirmation because after now, once you are finished withdrawing all your materials, then you mobilize your guys to site. They will use the spare parts to carry out the task. Once they carry out the task, there's something called time confirmation. And the time confirmation is confirming the actual time you use in carrying out this task against the planned time. Maybe you have planned duration 2, but you ended up doing 3. You plan 6, you ended up doing 5 hours. You plan 1 hour, you ended up doing this. So the final time you used in carrying out each of these operations would be entered back in the system, okay, for statistical reasons, future statistical reasons. That okay, the actual time to carry out something like dismantling of damaged boom is maybe 3 hours. So you take the average and it becomes the working time for dismantling of boom. So in future, when you give somebody the task of dismantling boom, you now know exactly what time it will take the guy to dismantle. And it can also be useful for PMIS, Plant Maintenance Information System, for some kind of analysis that will be useful for the organization. Okay. So time confirmation can also be entered if your work order is released. So you can't enter time confirmation for a work order that is not released. The work order has to be approved so that people don't create a work order. Management has not approved. They now enter time confirmation, confirming that the job has been done. No, management has to approve it. So the next thing we're going to do is the time confirmation itself. However, there's a step in between time confirmation um, and there's a step just before time confirmation, which is called execution. The execution step is where material withdrawal is done. Material withdrawal is done, whether planned or unplanned material withdrawal. And I will explain what planned and unplanned material withdrawal means. In this case, this is planned material withdrawal because we have already planned this material. So planned that we need one lever, one hook, one sling. So any withdrawal done against this work order is a planned material withdrawal. But in the course of doing this job, you may also notice that you need another spare part that was not planned in the work order. And you can go through some approvals for withdrawal of that material. So that material that was not planned inside the work order is an unplanned material withdrawal. If that material is withdrawn from the warehouse, then it's unplanned. So that's the difference between planned and unplanned material withdrawal. Planned withdrawal, all the spare parts are planned in the work order, their quantities and so on are planned in the work order. But unplanned is maybe a big boss or management will just say, okay, since you are doing this task and you need this spare part, just take this waiver or take this delegation of authority, go and withdraw the material. So in that case, the material was not planned in the work order. So that withdrawal can also be done. So planned and unplanned material withdrawal can be done during execution phase. And also the actual maintenance, which is actual this carrying out these activities, is also done during the execution phase. So once you have mobilized your personnel with the materials to the location where you need to carry out your maintenance, in this case, this location, this functional location, the crane. So maybe the crane is standing somewhere in this your plant. So you mobilize your personnel and the materials to this crane. They do the changes, or they carry out all these operations. And after carrying out all this operation, then they would record the time it took them to carry out those tasks, and they will do what is called completion. And during completion, you do time confirmation, technical confirmation, and then you also do technical completion and settlement. So these are the things you do during completion phase. So before the completion phase, material management guys will do withdrawal. I didn't explain that in this course, but in our next topic, where we'll be looking at corrective maintenance bit by bit, that is, we're going to also treat notification phase more in detail, planning phase in detail, control phase, execution of the task in detail, completion. Each of these phases, we're going to treat them in detail as separate topics. This is just breakdown maintenance scenario, which takes us through the maintenance phase at once without so much details. So then I will be able to show you how material is withdrawn from the warehouse and so on. So in this case, for example, this material, if I double click on the material number and then I go to environment stock overview, you will see that the stock is 0. Unrestricted use is 0. one is reserved. And I'm sure this one is the reservation we have in the work order. So any work order that has reserved this one, you see the quantity reserved is 1. If I go to the second one, environment stock overview, you see 3 is reserved, but there is no stock available. This unrestricted use, nothing is available here. So it means you can't even withdraw this material in the warehouse. This material has to be purchased and then replenished before. But this one, which is a non-stock, if I double click on the master data and I go to environment stock overview, you see there's nothing happening here because there's no storage location for this material. It is not recognized in the warehouse because the material was created as a non-stock. There's no storage location. It exists in this plant, but there's no storage location assigned to it, unlike the first one and the second one. So these ones, they are managed in a particular storage location. Okay, so after this, we'll assume that these materials were withdrawn and the job is done. So the next thing is completion. How do you now complete? First, technical confirmation. So we're looking at it in this paper, in this our slide here. Uh, we have different time confirmation and technical confirmation. So we have different kinds of confirmation: individual entry, collective entry, collective entry using operation list, overall completion confirmation. So you are able to do partial confirmation or final confirmation. If you have, for example, 3 operations in your work order, the way we have it here, and you confirm that I have done dismantling of the boom, I have done replacement, and maybe one operation is still not confirmed, system will mark partial confirmation. There will be a status called PCNF that will appear here, meaning that the job is partially completed. But if you confirm all the tasks, then you will have final confirmation. And that status confirmed CNF will appear here. So we're going to see that shortly. Then it's also possible to reverse your confirmation. So let's go to the confirmation um, um, transactions. So let me open a new screen. Let me open a new screen, and then I go to logistics, plant maintenance, maintenance processing. Then you see completion confirmation. Expand it, entry. So under entry, you will see individual time confirmation. So we mentioned that here. Individual entry. Let me add in someone. So individual entry, you will see that here. Then collective time confirmation, you can see without selection, with selection. So let's first look at individual entry. If I double click on individual entry here, you can enter your work order number here and you enter the operations one after the other. So let's get our work order. Let's get our work order number. So our work order number is 819800. So we'll copy it. And of course, system has remembered it automatically. That's why it's here. We have 3 operations. Operation 0010, which is the first operation. If you press enter, you are able to confirm this operation, just this operation, by clicking on this confirm, final confirmation. Okay, the actual duration, you are able to enter it here. If it is 2 hours, you can enter it there. Then you save. So that operation is confirmed. Because you need to tick that and that operation will be confirmed. So if you go back into your work order Let me refresh it. If you open this work order, you will see PCNF because we have confirmed just one operation, partial confirmation. Okay. Then I will go back into into the confirmation screen again and confirm the second operation, which is operation 0020. So I'll enter operation 0020. So you see now it's open again. I will confirm it. I can also enter what the right actual duration, and I will save. So the second operation is also confirmed. However, this will also still give us partial confirmation because there's one more operation left, 0030. So I'll confirm that operation. So this is you confirming individually. So this individual confirmation. So it's confirmed. So once all are confirmed, let's go back into the work order. And you can see now that that P is removed from this status. It becomes confirmed. So your work order is now confirmed. So the same thing you can do if you have multiple work orders to confirm at the same time. That is where we have collective entry. Okay, so collective entry here, you can enter multiple work orders and confirm them at the same time. So let's go to collective entry, collective time confirmation. So with selection, so if I double click on this, you see I can enter all work orders here at the same time, and I will tick this button to confirm all of them. I can enter where is the actual duration. I can enter all this information and I will save. So that means I have confirmed multiple work orders at the same time. Okay. I can also do confirmation by just selecting the work orders that I want using a parameter. Using some parameter, I'll select the list I want. In this case, I don't know the work order numbers. I just want to select using some selection parameters. So once I do that, for example, if I enter Mark here and I say, okay, all work orders on Mark, system will copy them into this confirmation. You see, this work order was copied. This is the only work order that is not yet confirmed. The first one was confirmed through the individual method. So I'll just tick this and then actual duration, I will enter 3. And I can as well save this confirmation, which will be the same thing. So now it's confirmed. So it's confirmed. So if I open that work order too, you will see CNF on it. You see? So confirmation simply means you are telling management that this job is done, this task is executed. Only people who have authorization to confirm can confirm. And if you don't confirm these work orders, you cannot complete it technically. Okay, so whichever method of confirmation you have done here will end up either partial confirmation or final confirmation. So basically, that's what is explained here. You see partial confirmation and confirmed. CNF means confirmed. Then you can also reverse your confirmation if you feel that you confirmed in error. And to reverse it is just to untick. For example, let me use individual and let me use operation 1. Order is already being processed. So, okay, because I opened it on other screen, so I'll go out. So let's go back to individual. I just want to show you how to reverse your confirmation. So if I untick this, it means I have reversed my confirmation. That's just how to do it. You untick and you save, and system will reverse the confirmation for you. And immediately the work order status will remove the CNF. That's the confirmed status. I don't know if we are together, but you play the video later and get back to me with questions and answers. So
We are
after
together, boss.
Okay, all right. So after confirmation, you now do what is called technical completion. That's the final stage. And in fact, it would have been the final stage, but there is something called business completion that is done by finance. Finance will post the cost in the work order officially to the respective cost elements, which will be the overall final stage. But from maintenance point of view, technical completion marks the final stage of the work order. And what is the impact of technical completion? So the maintenance order obtains the status TECO. So you will see on the work order, the status will come up TECO, meaning technically completed. So after the maintenance work required for this order has been completed, meaning you have done the job physically. If you have not done the job, you can't technically complete your work order. So the maintenance order can then only be changed online as follows. So once you have done technical completion, you can lock the work order. You can set deletion flag on the work order. You can still change the settlement rule. So these are the only possible things you can do because system will gray out. You can't make any other modification on the work order that is on technical completion. So let's technically complete these two work orders that we have created because we have already confirmed them. So we are free to technically complete them. So you open it. You see now it is in editable mode. But once I technically confirm it, everything will be grayed out. So the technical completion button is this black and white flag. So if I click on this black and white flag, then system will take me to settlement to maintain the settlement rule because the settlement rule is not yet created. And settlement rule simply means how are you going to settle the cost on this work order? Because, for example, if this crane, the cost of maintaining this crane is shared between two units, maybe the maintenance team and the production team. So the production team have their own cost center, the maintenance team has their own cost center. So you want to settle the cost 50-50%. So this is when you can maintain the settlement. So the settlement receiver is the cost center. Let's assume this is the maintenance cost center. And the second cost center is the production cost center. And this is, you can go back to the settlement rule here. This one. Okay. Okay. So now you can see it accepts only one cost center because that's the configuration. But if it's configured to accept multiple cost centers, then you can settle your cost amongst different units and you share the percentage here. But it accepts only this cost center because um, there's a cost center already allocated to the work order. So system knows that that's the cost center bearing the cost. And that's why the cost is going to the cost center 100%. So you have maintained your settlement rule. So if you click next on complete technically, then system will open this and will ask you whether you want it to also complete the notification. So if you tick this, it will also complete the notification. So while the work order will assume the status TECO, the notification will assume the status NOCO, meaning notification closed. So once you are okay with that, you can now click on continue and you will notice that your work order will have the status technically completed. You see, this is technically completed, TECO. Then if you go to the notification, you see the notification will be NOCO, notification closed. So the two documents will be grayed out. You can see you can't modify anything here. Again, the only things you can do is you can lock it. To lock it, if you want to lock this work order, you can go here, order, function, lock. So when you lock it, it will be locked. Nobody can open it again. Then you can also, there's another thing you can also do. You can set deletion flag on it. You can delete the work order. Okay. You can also change the settlement rule. So this settlement rule we have created, you can change it. Even if you have tackled the work order, you can still change the settlement rule, okay, to something else. So those are the only things you can do once a work order is. So when we are looking at these steps in detail one by one. You understand? This is just to give you an overview of the maintenance process end to end from notification to work order completion. I normally structure this class like this so that you will first of all have an understanding of the entire process from notification to then we'll now start discussing each step one by one. At that time, it will be clearer for you and much more easier for you to understand. So where we are marks the final completion of your work order. So every single work order created in the system must follow this process to the end. Or let's even put it this way, every job, every corrective job that you need to address must start with a notification. The notification will be in process, meaning it will be converted to a work order. The work order will be planned, materials will be added, operations will be added, then the work order will be approved, released, then shop papers will be printed, um, material will be withdrawn, job will be confirmed, then technical completion, settlement, business completion. So these steps, we are going to look at these steps again one by one in future and in more detail because there are a lot involved in each of these steps. That's why if you look at the curriculum, we're going to look at notification phase separately, treat everything that has to do with notification. But having done this, it will be easier for you to follow each of these steps, the planning phase, the control phase. So in an interview, once you are asked to provide or to give the various steps in maintenance, these are the steps you are going to be calling: the notification phase, the planning phase, and you'll be explaining what it entails: notification phase, what it entails, planning phase, control phase, execution, completion phase. Then we'll also look at processing of external services, where we process our maintenance up to the point of generating a purchase order, given to a vendor, ending up with service entry sheet and all of those things. So we'll be looking at that shortly. So if there are no questions, I will just flag this exercise here. Let it be on record so you can pause and try to do it. So these are the solutions to the steps. So if there are no questions, we can call it a day. And when next we meet, we're going to look at notification phase in detail. Any question? Any question? Okay, thanks and have a great night rest. See you in the next class.